Siemi, beloved family, Yenge to all of you, beloved people out there in the world. We, of course, give all glory and honor to Tatanzami Amazulu, Kimfumu Kwakuisa. Today is his day of rest, his Samba. We shall learn about Tatanzami's creation and how he has created it with a vision. Okay, but we first must understand where we are going in the world, because we have to renew our minds. Like it says in Psalms 41, 13 to 14, right? Praise be to Tatanzami, okay, the creator of the universe and the God of Israel, from everlasting to everlasting, in Geta, and as the deer longs for streams of water, so I long for Tatanzami. So we're longing for his wisdom, his knowledge, and his understanding of his creation. Like when Abraham was with his father, he was searching out the Most High. He first thought it was the sun and then the moon, and he realized that these are just facets of his creation, and these different spiritual elements are his servants. Okay? So let's get into this teaching, guys. May Tatanzami renew your minds. May we all walk in humility. May we all humble ourselves. May we allow the Mandan Semi to flow in us and to remove the slag from our hearts, because our heart is the most dangerous thing when you do not have it under subjection. Okay, so we're going to read about Tatanzami's spectacular vision of creation. You have to have a vision to create something, and this is what the Most High had from the beginning. He had a vision. He had something in his mind. His mind is like a treasure chest. Okay, you can find secrets in darkness. When you even are working in life and doing things, you first think of it, of how you want something done, how you want something prepared. So it first goes into your mind, and your mind is what? It's like a treasure chest. It's dark inside your mind. So don't be afraid of the dark, guys. All right. So when we go into the Christian or religious realm, we learn about creation. Some Christians think it was just one day of creation. Okay. And then you see these evangelists and big theologians debating God created the universe and everything in one day. And then you get the atheists debating it's impossible. But what does the Bible say? Okay, now Genesis only gives us a little bit of understanding, while if we read these other books and the Apocryphas, it gives us a better understanding, not just on how he created it, but also the process. Because everything is written, if something is written first in a book, guys, that means it happened first. If something's later on in the chapter, that means it was last. All right, so we read in Genesis 1 to 5, okay? In the beginning, Congo created the heaven and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the depths. And the spirit of Congo moved upon the face of the waters. And Congo said, let there be light. And there was light. And Congo saw the light, and it was good. And Congo divided the light from the darkness. And Congo called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. So In the first day, guys, we can see Christians are already wrong if they have that doctrine. Okay, when you are doing anything in life, things take step by step. Okay, if you even look at the construction world or how buildings are made, for mankind, it takes more than a day. So it did take the Most High 6 days to create. Okay, but he had a process because you have to have a good foundation so everything can stand for his glory. We go to Hebrews 3 and 4. For every house is built by someone, but Congo is the builder of everything. Okay? That means, guys, that no matter what you see in the universe or in the world, even if a man has created it, it came from Congo's knowledge and his wisdom. Everything is from the spiritual realm first, and then put into this physical world for us to create ourselves. Because the Muntus, all right, or the Benenzambi, we are creators, but we get that knowledge from heaven, from the Zulu. Okay, we're reading Jeremiah 32:17. Ah, sovereign and Zambi, you have made the heaven and the earth by the great power and outstretched arm. Nothing is too hard for you. Okay. Psalms 90 and 2, it says, before the mountains were born, or you brought forth the whole world from everlasting to everlasting, you are Congo. 2 Peter 3:8. But do not forget this one thing, dear friends, families, and people of the world. With Congo, a day is like 1,000 years. And 1,000 years are like a day. Okay? A day to us, guys, one day that we live is like 1,000 years to the Most High. I know we don't want to really go into the math of it, but technically the day then was created in 6,000 years in according to this scripture. Right? Now I forget the other scripture. I think that also says it in Jubilees and even in one of the Apocryphas I read. Okay? But we have to stop thinking that a day that we have on earth is like a day to the Most High. Remember, his thoughts are not our thoughts, his ways are not our ways. We are still stuck in the mindset of a Gentile, not as a Muntu or a Bantu or a Benenzambi. Start thinking like the Most High because you are a representative of Congo. Even you ladies, you women, you are also a representative of the Most High. Okay? The Apocalypse of Ezra. Okay? And I said, O Congo, my king, thou didst indeed speak at the beginning of thy creation, or the first day, and didst command the heaven and the earth should be, and the world. O Tatanzami perfected the work. And the spirit was then hovering, and darkness was veiling, and silence of the voice, and the voice of men was not yet. Then thou didst command that a ray of light should come forth out of thy treasuries, in order that thy works might become visible. So mankind wasn't even created, okay, from the beginning. It's still not there. It's the Most High himself who created the first day. He already existed himself, all right? And he, once again, went to his storehouse, his treasury, his mind, because everything has to come from your mind, from within you, to have something to come into this physical world. Okay. Then we go into the book of Moses, chapter 2. And it came to pass that Congo spake unto Moses, saying, behold, I reveal unto you concerning this heaven and the earth. Write the words which I speak. I am the beginning and the end. Now we know that as in Sonini Nanini, okay? The Almighty Nzambi. By my hands I created these things. Ye, in the beginning I created the heaven and the earth, upon which thou standest. And the earth was without form and void, and I caused darkness to come upon the face of the depth. And the Spirit moved upon the face of the waters, for I am Congo. And I, Congo, said, let there be light. And there was light. And I, Nzambi, saw the light, and that light was good. And I, Congo, divided the light from the darkness. And I, Congo, called the light day, and the darkness I called night. And this I did by the word of my power. And it was done as I speak, or as I spoke. And the evening and the morning were the first day. So once again, guys, even when we read in the book of Adam and Eve were told the same thing, like we have just read from the book of Moses, from the book of the Apocalypse of Ezra, from Hebrews, from Jeremiah, to Psalms, to Peter, to Genesis. This is what the Most High has always done, okay? He has always told his creation, it is him who has created everything, okay? And the reason why we know about day and night, the day and night cycle, is because of the Most High, okay? So we have to stop thinking that mankind knows about creation. Creation was given to us by Congo in the spiritual realm to our ancestors, okay? We go to Jubilees then, chapter 2, verse 2 to 3. For on the first day he created the heavens which are above, and the earth, and the waters, and all the spirits which were before him. The Malachim of the presence, and the Malachim and of sanctification, and the Malachim of the spirit of fire, and the Malachim of the spirit of water, and the Malachim of the spirit of the clouds, and of darkness, and of snow, and of hail, and of hoarfrost, and the Malachim of the voices, and of the thunders, and of the lightning, and the Malachim of the spirits of cold, and of heat, and of winter, and of spring, and of autumn, and of summer, and of all the spirits of his creation, which are in the heavens and the earth. He created the abyss and the darkness, eventide and night, and the light, dawn and day, which he was prepared in the knowledge of his heart. And thereupon he saw his works, and praised him, and lauded before him on account of all his works. For 7 great works did he create on the first day. Okay, so we can see the Most High was creating what, guys? Helpers to create what his vision was. He created different elements, the 4 Basimbi, you know, and then and we also understand that the lightnings are the angel. All right. So when we like to try to keep teaching everyone from the Most High's wisdom, is that everything is spiritual. Okay. Because those who worship the Most High in spirit and in truth. So if you don't understand the spiritual aspect of this world that we live in, how can you worship the Most High truly in truth? If you think the world is not spiritual, you are deceiving yourself, okay? These are the things they don't want to give you in Genesis on the 66 books because you just think it's this Big Bang theory nonsense. Excuse me. So then we go to the second book of the Secrets of Enoch, all right? Chapter 25. I commanded in the very lowest parts that the visible physical things should come down from the invisible spiritual realm. And Adoi came down very great. And I beheld him, and he had a belly of great light. So he is talking about an angel that had light. Okay. And I said to him, become undone, this angel, and let the visible physical universe come out of you. And he came undone, and a great light came out, and I was in the midst of the great light. And as there is born light, from light there came forth a great age, eon space of time, and showed all creation which I had thought to create. See, he thought it, he had it in his mind first. Okay, and we know that the Most High's words have never fallen, and everything he says must come to be. Hallelujah. And I saw that it was good, and I placed for myself a throne, and took my seat on it, and said to the light, go up higher from there, and station yourself high above the throne, and be a foundation to the highest things. And above the light there is nothing else. And then I rose up and looked up from the throne. So this is Enoch seeing the throne of the Most High, understanding that the Most High created everything in his mind, so everything was in darkness first. And then he put forward light so people can see his creation. So his creation can glorify him. And that is what the Most High wanted. He wanted his creation to glorify him. So he also made a throne to also show his authority. Okay, and it was above all, and that's on the 10th heaven. This is where the Most High sits. Okay, chapter 27, it says, and I commanded that there should be taken from the light and darkness, and I said, be thick, and it became thick. And I spread it out with the light, and it became water, and I spread it out over the darkness below the light. And then I made fire, sorry, and then I made firm the waters, that it too say the bottomless abyss. And I made foundations of light around the water, and created 7 circles from inside, and made the waters made the waters look like crystal, wet and dry. So it was like glass and the circles. Okay, he's talking about, when he's talking about the circles, it's like when you learn about kind of like where the constellations are, right? And they're fixed in certain areas of a circle, and they have a certain path. Like when you read in the first book of Enoch, the sun has a certain path from one gate to the next gate, from east to west. So he's showing you that everything had a foundation, everything was set in a certain position from start to end, and to keep repeating itself. Okay. Chapter 28 says, and then I made firm the heavenly circle, and made that the lower waters which is under heaven collected itself together into one whole piece, and that the chaos became dry. And it became so. Out of the waters I created hard and large rocks, and from the rocks I pilled up the dry land. And the dry land I called earth, and the middle of the earth I called the abyss, or the bottomless. I collected the sea in one place, and bound it together with a yoke. Note, this is the bank, or the shores, or the shoreline of the water, guys. Okay, and I said to the sea, behold, I give you eternal limits, and you shall not break loose from your integrity parts. Integral parts. Thus I made the firmament hold together this day. I call the first created Sunday. This I call the first day of creation. So the first day of creation was on this Sunday, not on what the Roman Catholics like to call. Okay, the 7th day, according to the Gregorian calendar. Some Roman Catholics want to tell you it's on a Sunday, but according to this book, which is also from the Roman Catholics, Sunday is the first day of the week. Okay, even though we know that the Gregorian calendar is off and has mistranslations in it to remove us from the true creation and understanding of the Most High, but we have to use it because we are in the land of our captivity. So as we can see, guys, even when Nabi Mikhael Massa, okay, has shown us that the water has a fixed area where it can go and where it cannot go. The water cannot just overtake the land and say, this is mine, and the land vice versa cannot do the same. Everything was given a certain amount of space where it could multiply and create more of itself. And then when people or animals take from the water, it can it can replenish itself. Okay. Now we go into the second day of creation. And Tatanzami said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the water, and let it divide the waters from the water. And Nzami made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which are above the firmament. And it was so. And Tatanzami called the firmament heaven. And the evening and the morning were the second day. Okay, so he's talking about this picture right here, guys. Okay, so he made the waters, he gave us the land that we can live in. He made space, as in the air that we see today. Okay, there are songs that even talk about, that you can only reach the sky. That the sky is the limit. All right, so even music, musicians, and movies are telling us that you can only go from the sky to a certain point, and that's above us is the firmament. When you see the blue sky, that's the firmament, and that's the water above us. Okay, so we are not able to actually see or penetrate with our natural eyes into that realm beyond the firmament, because we are still what? Fallen creatures. We're fallen angels. For us to see like Enoch has seen, we must do what, guys? We must renew our minds and restore our old ways of understanding the Most High, and He will show us spectacular things. Okay? Now we go into Amos 9:6. He builds his lofty places in the heavens and set its foundation on the earth. He calls the waters of the sea and pours them out over the face of the land. Congo is his name. Okay, so once again, it's giving glorification to one creator, not to this Jesus that Christians love to keep portraying around. Okay, now we go to Jubilees 2:4. And on the second day, he created the firmament in the midst of the waters, and the waters were divided on that day. Half of them went up above, and half of them went down below. And the firmament, okay, that was in the middle. Sorry. Let's see, where am I again? Yeah. And the waters were divided on that day. Half of them went up above, and half of them went down below the firmament that was in the midst of the face of the whole earth. And this was the only work that Tanzabi created on the second day. It's interesting. Jubilees uses Yahweh. Even when you read in the book of Moses, they say Yahweh as well. So it's interesting how they know who the Most High is, but they're keeping his name from us. Okay, even though we understand that Yahweh is not, Yahweh is okay for those who have the understanding, okay? But as you move closer into spirit and truth, the Most High will reveal his true self, okay? And then once we understand who he is, we don't go back into our old understanding. We keep moving forward with the times, because Most High is always moving forward. So the Most High wants us to know about his creation. Okay, if you know about the Most High's creation, you're also closer to the Most High. You're not closer to the ways of the world. Okay, so the waters he's talking about is the waters we have on earth, and there's a firmament around us, and the firmament is covered by water. And then water is released by the firmament to replenish the earth. But so this is also why we see all the flooding, guys, is the Most High is releasing the water from the firmament to flood the earth, because he is putting forward judgment for people to repent. Okay. Now we go into the book of Moses, chapter 2. And again, Tatanami said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters. And it was so, even as I spake. And I said, let it divide the waters from the waters. And it was done. And I, Tatanzambi, made the firmament and divided the waters, the great waters, under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. And it was so even as I spoke. And I, Tatsuzami, called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day. So once again, we understand that the Most High created the firmament inside this so-called snow globe that we live in. Okay? And then what else, guys? When the Most High speaks, he has the understanding it shall happen. It will happen. This is why the Most High is someone that no one can really go against. Because when you go to human beings, their words do fall down to the ground. Okay, there is no one in this universe or this world that you can find like Congo. Okay, if the Most High says he will do something, it will happen. Though sometimes we may have to wait a while because the Most High also does not always going to shower us always with everything he says instantly, because we also have to show him that we love him and that we are worthy to receive it by being obedient to him. Okay? So, the Apocalypse of Ezra. And on the second day, again, thou didst create the spirit of the firmament, and didst command it to make a division between the water and the water, in order that a portion of them might ascend on high, and the other portion remain beneath. So, another globe picture of the water. Okay. Now we go into the second book of the Secrets of Enoch. You guys should read the second book of Enoch, Secrets of Enoch, for yourself, because there is so much stuff in that book. I'm not able to put it into this teaching. There's too much, far too much. We go to chapter 29. And for all the heavenly soldiers, I made them the image and and essence of fire. And my eye looked at the very hard, firm rock, and from the gleam of my eye, the lightning received it wonderfully, a wonderful nature. Okay, so this is talking about the angels right now, that the creation of the heavenly angels and the Most High soldiers, his servants, his when you have a king, the king himself does not do everything to make the kingdom run. The Most High is the king of all kings. There's no one above him. We know that. Okay. So he created people to serve under him for his vision, for his kingdom to flourish. Okay. Like it is in heaven, like it is above, like it is below. Kingdoms throughout centuries have always tried to rule the whole world. But who can rule the whole world but besides Congo? Because he knows the proper way. If man wants to rule the world, they do it through war, oppression, and violence. They don't do it with Zola, with love, like Congo does. Okay? So this is all about how the Most High created the angels. He created them through fire. Okay? And how he also talks about his children are like rocks, right? We're like gemstones to him. We're precious to him. All right. So we talked about that. And it says, and my eye looked at the very hard, firm rock, and from the gleam of my eye, the lightning received its wonderful nature, which is both fire in water and water in fire. And one does not put out the other, nor does the one dry up the other. Therefore, the lightning is brighter than the sun, softer than water, and firmer than hard rock. And from rock I cut off a great fire, and from the fire I created the order of the incorporeal, spiritual, non-physical, 10 troops of angels, and their weapons are fiery, and their raiment a burning flame. And I commanded that each one should stand in his order. The Most High is always about order. So the angels are created from the four elements, guys, from water, earth, from air, even from lightning. When we read in the second book of Enoch, There was an angel that was cold. He was all ice. It was very, very cold to be around, and that angel had to chill Enoch's face because the presence of the Most High in the 10th heaven was too much for Enoch to bear. Okay, so the problem also with these books is it starts destroying their people's understanding of what a true angel looks like. When we see lightning in the sky, guys, like it says right now in this passage, it is angels. Okay, and the lightning is very bright and it's very strong. You see it cutting through trees, cutting through landscapes, destroying rocks. It's showing you that angels are everywhere and we are just somehow misinterpreting it because we're allowing the Gentile nation to tell us what it is instead of going to the source. So this book is telling you exactly about creation and what the Most High created. So if you're sitting around wondering, what is the thunder? What are the clouds? What are the trees? What is this and this in the world you don't understand? This is also why blessed are those who read these books. Okay, and there's a passage in this book that also tells you about it. We'll get to that. Okay, and it says, and one from out the order of angels, having violated and commanded, he was given, conceiving an impossible thought to place his throne higher than the clouds above the earth, so that he might become equal in rank to my power. And I threw him out from the heights, with his angels, and he was flying in the air continually above the bottomless abyss. Then the third day came. So this is talking about the second day, like we read in Genesis, right? In the beginning, Congo created everything, and then there's the abyss, and there was darkness upon the face of the earth. It's talking about Lucifer because Lucifer, okay, the fallen one, the fallen angel, they even say that the so-called Jesus is a star fallen from heaven. So I wonder who we're talking about, guys. All right. This channel is not Christian. All right. Jesus is Lucifer, period. But that's not the teaching we're trying to do today. So on the second day of creation, after the Most High created all the angels and everything, what happened? Satan wanted to take over. He wanted to exalt himself. Okay. So he fell on the second day from heaven. All right, so now we also understand when Satan fell during creation. Okay, he didn't fall on the first day or the second day. He fell on a particular time because he was also exalting himself. And it also says that him and his angels fell. So it wasn't just him, because when we read more into this book, he ordained and told all his creation in the spiritual realm to multiply itself. He told the waters, the earth, the fire, the land, the trees, the herbs, the animals. He told everything he created to multiply itself. So that is what happened. Okay. So now we go on to the third day of creation. Genesis 1, 9 to 13. So as you guys can see on each day, right, how Genesis gives you some information and it makes you think too much. Okay. Now thinking is good. Okay. It's good to think and to question things. But I'm just showing you through different books that they have removed and everything. It's showing you more about creation. It's giving you more meat. Okay. When we talk about the Bible, okay, the 66 books, that is just a piece, that's just a bone and has very little meat. Okay. But then when you read the other apocryphas, it gives you more meat on the bone so you have a better understanding. But then when you sit with people like Nabi Mikhael Massa, when you sit with Yaya Trey Okatiwe, when you sit with Nabi Kefas, and you sit with Yaya Jonathan T. Shalombo, they're giving you meat from the table, from Congo. Okay, so this channel that our beloved brother Nabi Mikhael Massa, he has from Congo. Okay, the things that he talks about and other people talk about, this is stuff from the spiritual world, and it's meat. Okay, if you cannot handle the meat, pray, fast, and ask the Most High for understanding. Okay, this teaching is deep because it's showing you that what the creation myths and stories that all these other religions like to talk about, they don't give you the full understanding. And then when you go into the Big Bang theory, okay, grab a grab a watermelon, throw it off a roof, and that's how the universe was created. In a nutshell, this is what they talk about. I mean, it's crazy. And then what they tell you is that everything that they're telling you could also be 100% wrong. So why are you following people that tell you things that sound great to your ear, but then tell you directly to your face that, hey, we could be wrong about everything? While we have multiple scriptures, multiple different books, different sources telling you that Congo created everything. So who are you guys going to believe? Mankind, who is telling you that they might be wrong, or a book, though it may not be 100% accurate on everything, it's giving you a good foundation, okay, that you can rely on. You can rely on these words and rely also on the spiritual implication of you praying and fasting, that the Most High Spirit tells you that this is true. This is so, my son or my daughter. Okay, so let's go back into Genesis 1, 9 to 13. And Congo said, let the waters under the heaven and, oh, sorry. And Congo said, let the waters under the heaven be gathered together unto one place, and let the dry land appear. And it was so. And Tatanzami called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters called the seas. And Tatanzami said, oh, sorry, and Tatanzami saw that it was good. And Tatanami said, let the earth bring forth grass, the herbs yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit, all fruit after his kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth. And it was so. And the earth brought forth grass, and the herbs yielding seed after his kind, and the tree yielding fruit whose seed was in itself after his kind. And Tatanami saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the third day. We read again in Genesis 1:29. Then Tatanami said, I give you every seed-bearing plant on the face of the whole earth, and every tree that has fruit with seed in it. They will be yours for food. Okay, so the Most High has prepared everything perfectly from the beginning. Okay, and we're only talking about the third day, guys. Mankind is still not created. Okay, and then as Nabi Mikhael Massa and Brother Fasting Life did a teaching, he also created what first? He created the judgment first. The judgment is what was created first, because the Most High had foresight and understanding that what was going to happen first, guys. The fall of man, the rebellion of man, and the fall of the angels. Lucifer, Satan, Jesus falling, thinking he was better than Congo. So the Most High created everything so perfectly, but yet we don't see it because we are still in our carnal nature, our carnal mind. We're still so busy, sometimes crying and complaining about things, when the Most High has given us order, has given us also what? The ability to talk to the spiritual realm. But we are lost in that connection. Okay, so the whole point of this teaching is not only so you can tell a Christian, oh, I know more about creation. All right, no, it's for you to understand, because the days we are coming into, the teaching that Nabi Mikhael Massa is going to do about the School of Four Elements, if you don't understand creation, how can you speak to the spirits? You know, water is coming to you. The earth beneath you is about to open up. Are you going to speak to the earth and tell it, no? Do you know who I am? I'm a son of Congo. I'm a daughter of Congo. So this teaching is showing you guys, we all have to, even myself, we all have to reconnect back, understanding that the trees that we see, the animals, the earth, the water, the wind, it is controlled by a spirit. You have to reconnect back to the spirit to have what? Power. To become a king, a god of this world. Go and read in Jubilees 2, 5, and 7. On the third day, he commanded the waters to pass from off the face of the whole earth into one place, and the dry land to appear. And the water did so as he commanded them. Wait, the water did so as he commanded it. The water was communicating to the Most High, to Congo. Okay? And they retired from off the face of the earth into one place, outside of this firmament. And the dry land appeared. And on that day he created for them all the seas according to their separation, gathering places, and all the rivers, and the gatherings of the waters in the mountains, and on all the earth, and all the lakes, and all the dew of the earth, and the seed which is sown, and all sprouting things, and fruit bearing trees, and trees of the wood, and the garden of Eden in Eden, and all. These four great works Congo created on the third day. Okay, we all know that Eden is in the east, which is in Congo. Okay, so if you want to listen to these Big Bang theories, they tell you the lakes are formed millions of years ago through weathering, through ice ages, through blah, blah, blah. Okay, once again, the Most High is showing us in Jubilees that the Most High created it. It's like when you watch someone making a diorama, all right? All right? They make the mountains, they make the waterways, they put it in themselves. Okay? So the Most High had a blank canvas and he started basically with his finger, okay? Putting in mountains, removing it, putting water. He was creating something that it was in his vision. This is the vision of the Most High. It was in his mind. He saw what he wanted to create. He wanted mountains, waters, rivers, valleys. He wanted animals, grass. He wanted all these things we read in the Bible that he thought that he knows is beautiful and good to look upon, and that his creation can glorify him, and then he can give back to it life, eternal life. Okay, but only one species of people or one species of Most High's creation has fallen. It's man and the fallen angels, because the fallen angels became like men, okay, and like demons and spirits. Mankind is the only one that is disobeying the Most High. Okay, the moment mankind came into existence, that's when everything went to hell. Oh my goodness, we are far from walking in truth sometimes, guys. We all have to humble ourselves. Okay, reading these books humbles you, guys. Reading these different apocryphas and learning the Most High's creation really humbles you. Okay, the Apocalypse of Ezra. And on the third day thou didst command the waters to be gathered together to one of the 7 parts of the earth, but 6 parts thou didst dry up, and the reserve that some of them might be serving before thee, and be both plowed and sown. But thine own word went forth, and immediately the work was done. See, guys, the Most High's word is very strong, because when he speaks, it happens. It is done. Okay. The Most High has power in his voice. Like we have power when we speak, but we have to also be in alignment with what? With creation first. This is what we first have to do, guys. So if we're not in alignment with the Most High's creation, then we also don't have authority. Because how can you speak to something that the Most High created and you don't know about it? You're not giving its honor and its respect for what it does. You know, the Most High created the sun to feed the greenery. And the Most High's favorite color is green. Okay, and his throne is surrounded by the green. It's in Revelations we talk about it. Talks about it. Okay, so the Most High gave the sun a purpose. Okay, so we don't worship the sun, guys. Okay, I know that Nabi Mikhael Massa tells us to pray to the east because the garden is in east. The Most High's throne is in the east. When you look towards the east, everything goes right back to the center. And who is in the center, guys? It's Congo. Congo is always in the center. This is why we look towards the east also. And it's also a commandment. Okay, so when we're not looking at the sun to glorify it, it's also a gateway. It's a place where we can look, that we know that the Most High sees us when we look that way too. Because the Most High's throne is always moving. He never moves. The throne moves for him. Okay? And then he has angels there looking and seeing everything. Okay? I mean, when you read this book, the second book of Enoch, Secrets of Enoch, it goes deep into also talking about how the angels are writing down everything man does, everything that they do that's positive and negative. Okay? When you do your prayers, the angels are going up and taking them for you. Okay? But let's get back on topic. For then, straightway, there sprang forth fruit, many innumerable and sweet in their tastes, of every sort of flowers, which in their form were unlike the other, and trees, which in their appearance were dis dissimilar in order, which in their secrets were indefinable, and there came into being on the third day. So Most High created the grass, the fruits, the flowers, the trees, all the things that we can use to build houses, infrastructure, to feed ourselves, to have a garden. The Most High wants us to have a garden, okay? So he can come down and be with us as well. The Most High didn't just create something to create it, he created it, everything for a purpose, had a use for good for us. But we are sadly in this world, we are using it for bad. Okay. I'm not saying that the Muntu are doing the bad things, but we know that there are other nations, the Gentiles and the Edomites. Okay. Now, not everyone, of course, is bad. In every single different group of people, there is good and bad. Okay. But they're using the Most High's creation, okay, and all the different materials to do harm to the Most High's creation, to also harm the Most High. Okay, he created this whole world for the Muntus to rule with Zola, with love and peace and unity. But that is not how it is today. But now we read in the book of Moses, chapter 2. And I, Tetanzami, said, let the waters under the heaven be gathered together unto one place. And it was so. And I, Congo, said, let there be dry land. And it was so. And I, Tetanzami, called the dry land earth. And the gathering together of the water called I the sea. And I, Tetanzami, saw that all things which I had make were good. And I, Tetanzami, said, let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, the fruit, tree yielding fruits, after this kind, and the tree yielding fruits, whose seed should be in itself upon the earth. And it was so, to even as I spoke. So as the Most High was speaking, things were just coming into existence. The Most High wasn't saying it, saying, I hope this happens. The Most High knew the moment this is the difference between understanding the Most High and just reading the Bible. When the Most High just speaks, it happens. It's also why the Most High tells his his chosen seed to also be wise with their tongue. Because when you have authority and power and you say something, something can be destroyed or something can be created. And the question is it good or is it bad? Okay? This is why we have to be mindful on how we speak. And the earth brought forth grass, every herb yielding seed after his kind, and the yielding fruit with seed should be in itself after his kind. And I, Tatanami, saw that all things which I made were good, and the evening and the morning were the third day. It is just the only thing that these books are telling us, guys. It's giving us another precept. Okay, it's showing us another verse that we can show to people also that look, if you read these books, okay, that what? If you read these books, it's not just only talking about creation in Genesis. It's talking about the book of Moses, in the book of Enoch, in Jubilees, in Ezra. Okay, so we have more than one source to prove that the Most High has created everything and not this theory from the Gentiles. Okay, now we go into the second book, Secrets of Enoch, chapter 30. On the third day, I commanded the earth to make grow great and greet. Can't read right now. My bad. On the third day, I commanded the earth to make the grow great and fruitful trees and hills and seeds to sow. And I planted paradise and enclosed it and placed armed guards in the form of my flaming angels. And in this way, I created renewal. The, then came evening, and morning came of the fourth day. So he created a certain angel. All right. But as we can see, paradise, he created angels to guard it. Okay. So the flaming angels were there on the third day. Okay. So the Most High was preparing paradise and everything. He already knew that there was going to be a fall of man and that Satan was going to rebel. He was going to exalt himself and everything. Okay. So the Most High, like Nabi Mikhael Massa has always told us, he's very well prepared. Okay. When you think you are prepared, you're not prepared like the Most High is prepared. Okay. The Most High had everything prepared from the beginning. He already knew what would happen from the beginning till the end until the time that has to come to where this kingdom of Edom falls and the kingdom of Yaqubi, of Jacob, of Yisodele rises. Okay? So it's just showing that the Most High had everything prepared. Okay? That's it. You cannot fool the Most High. Now we're going to talk about the fourth day of creation. Genesis 1:14. Okay, chapter 1, verse 14 to 19. And Tetsanami said, let there be light in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years and months and so on and so on. Once again, guys, the world is not given credit from the beginning. Adam and Eve, in the book of Adam and Eve, it also talked about this too. Okay, so everything in the world we learn about the moon having its cycles, the sun when it sets and when it rises. If it's colder in like I'm in New York, it's colder here, so the sun is not here as many days. Okay, but as it gets warmer, the sun gets closer. But once again, it talks about it in these books. So that these Gentiles have taken the wisdom from our ancestors, made it their own knowledge, and now are perceiving that they know how the world runs when they got it from the original people from Congo. Okay? Verse 15, and let there be for light in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. And the Nanami made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. And the Nanami set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And Tetanzami saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the fourth day. So, the moon and the sun are what, guys? They're just lights. Okay? Verse 16, and Tatanami made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, which is the sun, and the lesser light to rule the night, which is the moon. And he also made the stars. Okay? So if it's just the light source, how can you land this so-called spaceship and have these astronauts land on something that is just a light source? When you go more into the spiritual aspect, it's a gate. Okay? All right. But then once again, what is first? It says the greater light. That means the sun was there first and then the moon. Okay. Jubilees 2, 8, and 10. And on the fourth day, he created the sun and the moon and the stars and set them in the firmament of heaven to give light upon the earth and to rule over the day and the night. Once again, guys, what came first? The sun, and then the moon, and then the stars. So when you read your Bible and your different apocryphas, why is the sun first in the sentence? It's telling everyone that that came first. So when Nabi Mikhael Massa tells us the sun came into existence first, that's what came first, and people want to say, where is it in the Bible? It's right there for you. But are you paying attention? Are you reading with your spiritual eyes and your spiritual ears opened up? Okay. And then what? Day and the night. So day comes first and then the night. Okay. And then what? And divides the light from the darkness. That means we have an interval of time. Even when you read the second book of Enoch, it talks about the Most High created times, seasons, months, weeks, days, 4 different seasons. Okay? The Most High is the one that created everything that we see and use today, and whatever understanding people think they have of how the world runs was because the Most High allowed us to understand it. He gave us that knowledge. Knowledge comes from Congo, from the spiritual world. Okay? And it says, and Yahweh appointed the sun to be a great sign of the earth for day, and for the Samba or Shabbat, and for months. Okay? And for the feasts, and for the years, and for Shabbats of years, and for Jubilees, and for all seasons of the years. And it divides the light from the darkness, and for prosperity, that all things may prosper which shoot and grow on the earth. These three kinds he made on the fourth day. So he wanted everything that takes in the energy from the sun to also prosper. So when he talks about to be fruitful and multiply, he was not just only talking to man. He was talking to the nature. He was talking to the animals, to the fruits, to the trees. Okay? The Most High loves everything he created. Okay? Now, yes, the moon too, okay, or the Ben and Zombie, he loves more because it's an image of him, but he still loves his other creation as well. Okay? Now we go to the book of Moses, chapter 2. And I, Congo, said, let there be light in the firmament of the heavens to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs, and for seasons, and for days, and for years, and let them be for lights in the firmament of the heavens to give light upon the earth. And it was so. And I, Congo, made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. And the greater light was the sun, and the lesser light was the moon. And the stars also were made, even according to my word. Okay? So, once again, Moses was being taught this. Okay? Reading the book of Adam and Eve, they're the same exact thing that Moses, the same exact thing that it says here in the book of Moses, chapter 2, and the same thing it says in Jubilees, same thing it says in the Apocalypse of Ezra and in Genesis. Okay? And I, Tatanzambi, set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. He's talking about the stars, people. The stars, the planets, the constellations. Okay? The Most High put them there. Like when an artist paints something and he puts in little details and you're like, that's amazing. That's what the Most High did. Okay? And the sun to rule over the day, and the moon to rule over the night, and to divide the light from darkness. And I, Tatanzami, saw that all things which I made, which who made? Tatanzami made, were good. And the evening and the morning were the fourth day. Okay? The Most High he put the sun there. He put the moon where it's supposed to be. He put the stars where it's supposed to be. So stop listening to this nonsense. If the sun was a few centimeters, a few inches away, the world wouldn't exist. Nonsense. It was placed there by the Most High, by Congo, for a reason. It will never move from its position unless Congo ordains it, or one of his children speaks to the sun and tells it to move or to stand still, like a certain person in the Bible did. But people want to say that there's no way that's possible, but someone can walk on water and that's it. My goodness. The second book, The Secrets of Enoch, chapter 30. Then came evening, and morning came the fourth day. On the fourth day I commanded that there be a great lamp of the heavenly circle. I created 7 great circles and gave them an appearance of crystal, wet and dry, and for it to be a circuit for water and the other elements. I pointed out to each one of them his route to the 7 stars, each one of them in his own heaven. Okay, now this is when we talk about the 7 heavens. Okay, so that they might what? Travel accordingly. Thus I made solid the heavenly circles on the first, the highest circle I placed the star Saturn. Okay, on the second lower down I placed Jupiter. On the third Mars, on the fourth the Sun, on the fifth Venus, on the sixth Mercury, and on the seventh the lowest, the Moon, which the lower stars I beautified the air below. I appointed the sun over the illuminaries of day, and the moon and the stars for the illuminations of night. The sun goes in according which each animal. Oh my goodness, people. I hope you understand this. The sun goes in accordance which each animal of the 12 animals are the successions of the months, the zodiac signs, people. I assign their names, the animals of their season, their connection with the newborn, and how they revolve. Okay? Why is this not in our Bible, guys? Because Satan is a liar and Satan wants you to be dumb. He doesn't want you to know, he doesn't want you to worship the Most High in spirit and truth. The moment you worship the Most High in spirit and truth, what's going to happen? Where do you think Satan's going to go? Huh? He's going to go into the very fiery pits of hell that the Most High created from the beginning. Judgment was created first because the Most High knew that the moment I create this angel and the moment I create man, I got to judge him. And it's a righteous judgment. If you are not being judged by the Most High, he doesn't love you. Okay? So, we are going to quickly just come down here. Like our beloved Nabi Mikhael Massa put in his beautiful teaching a few months ago, okay? That what? Congo then described to create our solar system. That's why in the Bible we say on the first day that Tanzami created the heavens and the earth. But in reality, Tanzami did not create the heavens and the earth that day because in our vision of things, there is the sky above and the earth below. But there is, now he talks about the planets. Okay, 12 planets the Most High created. Okay, as in 12 different places of existence, different realms. You cannot go to these realms unless the Most High ordains you to go to these realms. Okay, so anyone watching this video from Nabi Mikhael Massa thinking he's talking rubbish, and he's not, okay, in this book right here, the second book of Enoch, what does it talk about, guys? The Most High created planets and stars and the 12 zodiacs. Okay? So the Most High is the one that created all these planets and all these stars and everything we see in this outer space. Okay? Because right now, I'm going through some of the planets that these people like to talk about. Okay? And the problem is it has a Greek name to it. Okay, and when we read this book more in context, if you want to read it for yourself, read it for yourself. Once again, it's so much, okay, that each of the planets also is an angel, and each of the heaven is given a leader, an archangel, okay, and each archangel has dominion over that seventh heaven. Is one archangel, and he has other angels beneath him doing work. And the sixth angel is another angel. Okay, if I'm not mistaken, I think Archangel Michael is on the seventh, if I'm not mistaken, and then Gabriel I think is on the sixth. And okay, but so we have to stop having the mindset that we just see what we see because of a silly watermelon drop over a building. Okay, so this is what the Europeans tell us, guys. All right, this is according to Greek mythology also. Okay, first, Cronus, Saturn. In Greek mythology, Cronus was the son of Uranus, heaven, and Gaia the earth, bringing the youngest of the 12 titans. 12 titans. So they're trying to tell you that there are actually 12 planets, that each of them was an angel, but they fell and became titans, as in the Nephilim, with the giants. Okay. On the advice of his mother, he created his father with a harp, thus separating heaven from earth. Okay, this is according to Greek mythology. Okay, second, Aphrodite, okay, is the ancient Greek goddess of sexual love and beauty. Okay, identifying with Venus by the Romans, she was known primarily as a goddess of love and fertility, and occasionally presented over marriage. Okay, so each angel, these are fallen angels also, guys, Okay, so when we want to look about the certain months and the certain years, okay, each one of them, there's 12 months and there's 12 planets. So when you're saying these months, you're actually worshiping one of these Greek gods. This is what I'm just trying to show you guys. Okay, okay. Then we have Ares in Greek religion, god of war, or or more properly, the spirit of battle. Okay, but we know the Most High is the king of war. All right, there's no one that can beat the Most High when it comes to war. Okay, so you guys can read these for yourselves. Okay, if you want to. But what I'm just trying to show you guys is what. Look, fifth is Zeus. Oh, Jesus. Huh? The god of the sky in ancient Greek mythology as the chief Greek deity. Huh? A chief deity? Huh? A deity versus a what? A deity is a what, guys? Is an idol, is an image. It's not the creator. Okay? Okay, look, the father of all other gods. Okay? And human, Zeus is often despised as an older man with a beard and is, oh my, come on, an older man with a beard and white hair and white, everything's white somehow in Greek mythology. Okay? But what this is trying to show us, guys, is what? That these different um, fallen angels had angels themselves. Because when the Most High was talking about creation, he was also telling the angels. Once again, this is why you have to read this book for yourself. There's too much in there. I couldn't put everything in. But each of the planets was an angel. And he was telling those angels, multiply yourself. Telling the water to multiply itself, the earth, the fire, the wind. It's telling everything he's created, multiply yourself. Okay, he was even telling the water to multiply itself. The fruits, he's telling the animals to multiply themselves. And then during the creation of man, he told man, multiply yourself. Okay. Then we have what? Hermes, another Greek god, son of Zeus. Okay. And then when we read in the first book of Enoch, it also talked about, the I think it was the fallen angels that fell down with Satan. And some of these are these planets or these Greek gods that came down that wanted to take over the Most High's creation. Okay. So you guys can read this for yourself. You guys can pause it. Okay. So it's incredible because we must understand the creation story. Okay. And later on, we'll go into the fifth day. All right. But just showing guys that our beloved king, Nabi Mikhael Massa, okay. But we know our true beloved king of kings is Tatanzambi, right? But the Nabi Mikhael Massa, the one who is the one of the chief princes down here, okay, leading with a spear. Okay, someone has to be the spear, guys. Someone has to be the forefront of the spear. Okay, hate or love him, doesn't matter, guys. Okay, if you really love truth, you would stand behind people that speak truth. We know that truth is like a fiery hammer. Okay, because the problem is if we have the knowledge of the Kadiapemba, you have that slag around you. Okay, when you go into purifying gold and getting and purifying metal and different things to make a spear, when you're hitting it when you're making that metal really hot and you hit it with a hammer, there's slag that comes off. Okay, those are the lies. That is the darkness that does not make you to shine like the gemstone the Most High wants you to shine as. So as long as you stay in the mindset and the understanding and the wisdom and knowledge of the Kadiapemba, okay, on the Big Bang Theory, you're not close to the Most High. You are rejecting his creation and not giving glory to who it truly belongs to, okay? Because as we have read, just for the first 4 days of creation, there's a lot of things the Most High created, okay? It's impossible that the Most High created everything in one day, okay? Even in the King James Bible, it tells you that each day he created something, and each day it took him time. Remember, one day is 1,000 years to the Most High. The Most High does not exist in our realm of time. Okay, the Most High is beyond our understanding. If you want to try to understand the Most High, you cannot go to a man or to a human being or to a fallen angel and ask him who the Most High is, because the Most High Spirit does not dwell in all flesh. Because why? The world hates the Most High. It hates his truth. Because Satan will deceive the whole world. Not only he will, but he has deceived the whole world. Okay? So let's all just humble ourselves. Let's all give honor and glory to Tatanzambi. Okay? I thank Nabi Mikhael Massa for allowing me to be on his platform once again. But we both understand that the messages that we bring is not for ourselves, but only for Tatanzami's glory and for the renewing of his kingdom. Tatanzami's kingdom must be renewed, and for you to be a soldier of the Most High of Congo, you also have to understand what? His creation. If you don't understand the Most High's creation, if you don't understand that everything is created spiritually first, and for you to command the spiritual, you must understand the Most High's creation first and how it was created, and also the different names that each of these different elements, the rocks, the trees, the sun, the moon, they have names. Like you have a name, everything the Most High created, he gave a name to. Now we have to go back to the ancient language of Kikongo or Congo Lolo. Okay? So I love you so much, family. May you all have an amazing day, rest of your day of Samba. May you meditate on this teaching for your own self. Pause it, read it for yourself. Read this second book of Enoch, the Apocrypha or the Apocalypse of second and fourth Ezra. Okay. The second book of Enoch, the Secrets of Enoch, is a very deep book. I read it, I think 3 or 4 different times. There's so much there. Okay. May Congo reign. May your days be fruitful. May this message sit within your heart. May the Basimbi protect you all and keep us in the days to come. May we all humble ourselves and repent. May we all be like the deer in the desert seeking water, but the water of Congo, the spirit of truth, because man does not live by bread alone, but every word that proceeds out of the mouth of the Tanzambi. Hallelujah.